Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. It is the huge one. It is the game that everyone has been going on and on about since the draw was made. It is Real Madrid against Chelsea in the Champions League quarter-finals. I mean, what a game we have got. It's going to be an incredible game for the neutrals. Now, I think I am more intrigued and interested to see what happens in that Bayern City game. And having to play Chelsea again, it's so boring. I mean, look, it's the third season in a row. We played them 2 seasons ago, where they ended up winning the Champions League. We played them last season. They came to the Bernabeu. They scored three, technically four goals, but couldn't even win on aggregate. So what? This season, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, look, you look at the form of both teams going into this game, and look, I'll talk about Real Madrid first, because you know, um, obviously we'll be talking about Real Madrid more, and this is a Real Madrid fan channel. Coming to this game, if you had told me before the Villarreal game what were your feelings and are you confident, I would say I am confident and I am feeling good that we possibly could beat Chelsea. Now, after seeing the display against Villarreal, um, and you could say maybe it's the fact that we aren't going to win the league, but that is not an excuse to not try and to give up. You can't say, oh, because we are going to not win the league, we can just give up. That is nonsense. But that was poor against Villarreal, what we've seen. Before that, Valladolid and Barcelona, we played incredibly well for 90 minutes. In fact, for 180 minutes across two games. So, you don't know which Real Madrid is going to show up. And again, is it going to be the Real Madrid against Valladolid and Barcelona where, we control the game from the start to the end. We don't let, the past results affect us. We just go for it and then we dominate. Or are we going to sit back, allow our opponents, in this case Chelsea, to attack, to get at us? So, it depends. But let's have a look at Chelsea's run of form coming into this one. Not sure if you guys can see it. If you guys can't, I'm sorry, it might be a bit zoomed in, but I'll go through the result. So I assume you'll be able to see this side, maybe not so on the right. But let's talk about, we can't really talk about the past too much. Ever since that Villa game onwards, or backwards, shall we say, it's been under Graham Potter, and he has since been sacked. So we can't really talk about it because it is a different Chelsea now. Or is it? Now, let's give you an example. So Potter's Chelsea weren't too convincing. I mean, you saw glimpses of brilliance against Dortmund, against Leicester, but you saw how they play against Everton and Villa. It wasn't convincing. You go back to February, to Spurs, to Southampton, to Dortmund, and then you can even go further down. That 0-0 against Fulham, that 1-0 against West Ham, that 0-0 against Liverpool, that 2-1 loss to Fulham, that 4-0 thrashing to City, that 1-0 to defeat to City as well, that 1-1 against Forest. So this has been their year, I suppose, the last 4 months. It hasn't been all that, but there's no point going back to January and trying to compare, because one, it's been 4 months, and two, Potter is no longer there, so it's no point. What's interesting is after they sacked Potter, they went in to get an interim. Was it Bruno Sauter? Now, never heard of him. ex-player, I believe, at Brighton. Um, he took charge against Liverpool. It was a 0-0. They played quite well, I thought. In fact, let me have a look right here at the stats that a disallowed goal. Um, I mean, I believe it's Chelsea. So Liverpool dominated the possession. Chelsea had more shots, but less shots on target. Um, and I just thought they played much better. I just thought they played much better overall. And to come away with a 0-0 goalless, it really is not what they would have wanted. Now, bear in mind, this is how Sauter lined it up, 3-5-2. Now, after this 0-0, they got technically another interim, but a more experienced manager, caretaker, I suppose, to take them to the end of the season. Frank Lampard is back. Now let's have a look at how his side did against Wolves here. This conceded to Matheus Nunes. Very, very good goal. Now, I'm pretty sure Chelsea's on this side. So look, I think what you expect from Chelsea is they have more of the ball. They might win more duels. They might have more shots, but the shots on target isn't going to be as high as the opposition. So let's see. Now, another difference is under Sauter and Potter and even Tuchel, they were playing a three at the back. Now they are playing now on a Lampard, a five at the back, not five at the back, four at the back. So I expect their defense to be about the same. Maybe Thiago Silva coming in for Fofana, and Chilwell maybe coming for Cucurella. Maybe. Obviously, they've got some players like Chile and a lot more who are not registered and won't be playing in the Champions League. So I'm not so sure, but that is probably going to be defense. I'm not so sure if he's going to play Conor Gallagher. Maybe Kovacic, maybe Mason Mount. Enzo Fernandez is going to play 100%. And then maybe Kante. I do believe Kante will play. So it might be Kante, Enzo, and Mount, or Kovacic. That's a very good midfield, but which is why I would put Modric and Kroos against that for the experience. And then I will assume he'll go with the same front three: Felix, Sterling, Havertz. Kind of expected. Whether Mikhailo Mudryk plays, different story. But let's go back to our team and let's talk about our team before we end. So the back line, it's kind of expected. Courtois, obviously. Carvajal rested against Villarreal. Vasquez started. He will play. Militao rested for a bit before coming on. He will play. And the other two spots is a bit hit and miss. It could be Nacho at left back, and then Alaba or Rudiger at centre back. It could be Camavinga left back, and then Alaba, Rudiger centre back. But I thought if you have got both available, and Alaba, I would rather have than Camavinga, than Nacho. Why not play Rudiger and Alaba, and then have like a Nacho on the bench? If you want to tie up the defense, if you want to bring on a player who we know can be reliable and trusted, bring Nacho on. I saw Nacho play against Villarreal, and I swear he was tortured by Chukwueze. And if Frank Lampard plays Mudryk on the right, which wouldn't make sense, but maybe Sterling, I think Sterling would actually tear Nacho apart. Maybe Joao Felix, maybe Mason Mount, but whoever plays on the right hand side for Chelsea, I think would cause Nacho a bit of problem. Carvajal, I'm worried. Again, Mudryk might play, and I think Mudryk will tear Carvajal apart if he does play. So I'm hoping that it's going to be Felix on the left, Sterling on the right, Havertz up front as your front three. And let's not forget, Aubameyang as well could play. My midfield trio, Tchouaméni didn't have the best game against Villarreal. Obviously, he's still recovering. He's still trying to get back. He's realistically the only 6 at the club. and you can't be going in with Modric, Cruz, and I don't know. I mean, maybe Camavinga. I mean, look, you could do that. You could play Camavinga, Modric, Cruz. You could play Ceballos, but I just thought, you know what? Why not just put a player who is gonna be a more defensive player, but also could help out going forward? You know, and look, for a long time now, we've been talking about, you know, is Modric and Cruz past it? And every time they show us that age is just a number. And of course, people will be talking about how Kante might take advantage of that, but he just getting back from injury. Enzo could take advantage. Maybe he might. Kovacic might take advantage. Mason Mount might take advantage. So, look, I think you could play Trameni, you could play Kamavinga, and you probably would play Modric. If you want more energy, you want more pace, you want more speed in the midfield, but I would rather the experience because they know what they're doing, and it doesn't always mean the younger, the more energetic, the quicker you are, the better it is. Experience does help. So I'll just go with Modric and Cruz for the experience. The front three, Vinny and Benz is guaranteed. But for the right side, Valverde, of course, we talked about it in the last review. I'm not going to talk about it. What he's going through at the moment and what has happened between him and Baena of Villarreal. So maybe he might not play because of that, and maybe Rodrigo might get the start. If Rodrigo does, I don't mind it. I just thought he would help out because essentially that would mean that we can switch formations easier in game and essentially tuck into a 4-4-2. Valverde coming in as sort of like a right mid, and he offers a lot because he tracks back. And it's not never, but I wouldn't touch Asensio because he's not going to track back. Someone like Valverde is brilliant for this. He comes back, he helps win the ball. Essentially, he makes a four-man midfield. It kind of is useful and helpful, and then you have Vinny and Benz up top if you want. But he also offers something going forward. So, look, this will be my formation and my team. Let me know yours down in the comments below. The first leg, it's hard to predict, but I will go for Real Madrid. And you know what? I'm optimistic. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Real Madrid win. I expect Chelsea to get a goal, maybe Havertz. But I think as the game progresses, I think with the Bernabeu and it's the Champions League. So I hope at least that Real Madrid can produce something incredible. But I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hit the like button if you guys did. Subscribe to the channel on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.